Omar Marmoush is one of the best players, not just in the Bundesliga, but in the entire world right now. A player who is continuously making headlines for the right reason and has been a key figure in leading Frankfurt to third place this season so far in the Bundesliga. And this guy sort of just came out of nowhere, and it seems as if all of a sudden every club in the world now wants this guy at their club, with strong interest from clubs like Manchester City, who at the time of me recording have already agreed a deal to sign him. And with 20 goals and 14 assists in just 24 games at the time of me recording, it isn't surprising that all these big clubs are now going in for him, even being called the golden boy by Egypt's very own Mohamed Salah. However, before becoming one of the best players and top goal scorers in Europe, things were always like this for Marmoush. This is the incredible story of Omar Marmoush. Marmoush was born on February 7th, 1999 in Egypt's capital Cairo, and like most professional footballers, Marmoush picked up a strong interest in football from an early age, in hopes of one day becoming a professional footballer. And eventually, Marmoush would end up playing for Cairo's American International School, playing for his school team, whilst also maintaining his formal education on the side, which was incredibly important for him according to his parents. And immediately, everyone who surrounded Marmoush knew the talent and the ability this kid had, and predicted him to go right to the top as a professional footballer. And eventually Marmoush would make his move to his first professional club, Wadi Degla, and after just a few weeks in their youth system, he was immediately promoted to the senior squad, making his pro debut in the Egyptian Premier League on the 8th of July 2016, coming on as a sub against Al Ittihad Alexandria club, seeing out a 3-2 win for his side. And after scoring 2 goals in 16 league appearances, he would eventually be called up to represent Egypt at the under-20s AFCON. However, this Egypt squad wasn't very strong at the time, and they didn't even make it out the initial group stages. However, very quickly, clubs across Europe were starting to identify the talent that was coming from Egypt, one of which being the Bundesliga side Wolfsburg. And with the Bundesliga being known for their healthy development and opportunities for youth players, this was a no-brainer for Marmoush, signing for Wolfsburg at 18 years old. However, understandably, Marmoush's move to Europe proved difficult for him at the time, due to the fact that he left all his friends and family behind, going to a completely different continent where he didn't even know the language. And of course this was challenging at first, but this didn't stop Marmoush from displaying his talent, making his debut against Leverkusen in a 4-1 win in May 2020 after being promoted from the Wolfsburg youth level, and would eventually sign his first professional contract at the club on the 23rd of June 2020, whilst also making his European debut a few months later in August in a 3-0 defeat against Shakhtar. However, as mentioned earlier, a move to a European club like Wolfsburg was proving difficult for Marmoush, as getting used to the change in pace and physicality in comparison to the Egyptian league was challenging, and more often than not, Marmoush wouldn't even be able to make the Wolfsburg bench, making only 5 appearances in the Bundesliga. And with concerns over game time, Marmoush knew he had to make a move, eventually going on loan to St. Pauli in Bundesliga 2 in January 2021, where he played 21 games and got 7 goals for the club, where he started to display his versatility in the front line and started to show flashes of his world-class finishing in front of goal, leading him to represent his home country Egypt on the national stage in the 2021 AFCON, displaying some impressive performances and even making it all the way to the final, losing out to Sadio Mane's Senegal. However, after the 2021 season ended, Marmoush was not ready for Wolfsburg and would make another loan move to Stuttgart, where Marmoush started to gain more consistent game time in the Bundesliga, getting 8 goal contributions in 23 games in the 21-22 campaign. And after impressing across Bundesliga and Bundesliga 2, Marmoush was finally ready to step up and get regular playing time at his parent club Wolfsburg, scoring his first goal for them in the DFB Pokal in a 1-0 win against Jose Jena, and scored his first Bundesliga goal in a 3-2 win over former loan club Stuttgart, finishing with 7 goal contributions in 36 games. However, Marmoush felt like he needed a new environment, so he made a move to another Bundesliga club, this time being Frankfurt, signing with them on a free transfer, which is currently proving to be an elite bargain for Frankfurt, because immediately Marmoush settled in straight away, seeing that long-deserved success that he had been waiting for in the Bundesliga. And it looked like Frankfurt were able to get the best out of him as well, with Marmoush scoring his first goal in a 7-0 win over Lokomotiv Leipzig in the first round of the DFB Pokal in 2023, and then scored his first Bundesliga goal in a 1-1 draw against Mainz, and will continue to keep up such form, ending the season on 16 goals in 37 games, displaying his lethal ball striking and finishing ability in front of goal, as well as providing clutch moments for Frankfurt, scoring a brace in a 3-3 draw against Borussia Dortmund and a goal in a 5-1 win against Bundesliga giants Bayern Munich, as well as scoring a crucial penalty against Leipzig to make it 2-2 to help Frankfurt qualify for the Europa League, giving Frankfurt a strong 6th place finish, whilst also becoming the 3rd highest African goal scorer scorer in the Bundesliga. And onto this current season, and Marmoush has gotten even better, currently having 20 goals in 24 games across all comps, currently being the second highest goal scorer in Europe as I record this. And as I said earlier, Marmoush is putting in some impressive performances for Frankfurt, displaying his versatility across the front line as well as his on the ball ability. And in terms of goal scoring and finishing, this guy is lethal, and it's no surprise that Premier League clubs like Man City, Liverpool and Arsenal have picked up an interest in him. And as I said, it looked like Marmoush is on the route to the blue side of Manchester, with Manchester City already agreeing a deal for around 70 million euros. And to be honest, despite City not being in the best place right now,
I want to hurt myself.
I think a club like City is a perfect environment for a player like Marmoush, especially under a manager like Pep Guardiola, who can develop him even further. And of course, there's always seems to be a notion that Bundesliga players don't work out in the Premier League, but City are one of the few Premier League clubs that have disproved that, with players like De Bruyne and Gundogan and many more over the years. What do you guys think of Marmoush? How far do you think he can actually go, or would he flop? How well will he do in the Premier League if he eventually moves there? Is he a next big talent, or is this all just a good patch of form that will eventually die out? Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you have enjoyed, please be sure to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching. This has been Discussing Ball.